Listen, stop scrolling for a second, because what started as a routine concert run has turned into one of the darkest, most shocking stories to hit music news this year. Tonight, we peel back the velvet curtain on a case that's equal parts tragedy and mystery. D4VD, the 20-year-old breakout singer whose songs haunted TikTok feeds, has abruptly canceled the final dates of his U.S. tour amid an ongoing investigation after human remains were found in a Tesla registered to him. Reporters say the body was later identified as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a missing teen. And for fans, industry insiders, and a stunned public, the questions come fast and brutal. How did this happen? What did investigators find? And what does it mean for a young artist suddenly at the center of a criminal probe? To understand the gravity of what's unfolding, we have to rewind. D4VD, born David Anthony Burke, rose quickly, a teen musician with a viral song and a devoted online following. He'd been on the road supporting his debut work when, earlier this month, a tow lot in Hollywood became the setting of a grim discovery. A decomposed body tucked inside the front trunk of a Tesla that had been impounded after being reported abandoned. Authorities worked the scene, and forensic teams later identified the remains as Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a 15-year-old who had been reported missing last year from the Lake Elsinore area. The medical examiner has not publicly released a cause of death, and investigators continue to probe the timeline that led a missing girl's remains to an impounded vehicle. Keep in mind, identification of the victim and discovery of the body are facts confirmed by law enforcement. The cause, manner of death, and any further connections remain under investigation. Here's how the events appear to line up from public reporting. The Tesla was towed after neighbors or passers-by flagged it as abandoned in the Hollywood Hills. When impound workers later discovered a foul odor coming from the vehicle, authorities were called and human remains were found in the car's front trunk on September 8th. The car was reportedly registered to D4VD. Within days, investigators executed a search warrant at a residence tied to the singer in the Hollywood Hills and removed electronic items and other potential evidence from the property as part of the probe. In the immediate aftermath, the artist continued to perform, but shows were quietly pulled from ticketing sites and 2 U.S. dates, including stops in Los Angeles and San Francisco, were canceled as the investigation intensified. Important to stress. While the car was registered to him and investigators searched a home linked to him, officials have not announced any charges against D4VD, and statements from the singer's camp say he is cooperating with authorities. Those are the boundaries the public has right now: the discovery, the identification, the search, the canceled shows, and that no criminal charges have been filed at this time. The reaction has been immediate and volcanic. Fans who once streamed his music in the millions are now grappling with shock and denial, scrambling through social feeds for answers, screenshots, and leaked clips that might explain anything. Brands and partners have reacted swiftly in the marketplace. Promotional activities tied to the artist have been paused, and some commercial partners are distancing themselves pending the outcome of the investigation. Media coverage has shifted from celebratory profiles of a rising star to round-the-clock true crime updates, with sober debate about the ethics of reporting while police work continues. And for the family of the missing girl, for whom grief is now compounded with a very public spotlight, reactions are a raw mix of heartbreak and a desperate need for answers. Through it all, you'll notice the same 2 themes. People want the truth, and the truth is being guarded by investigators who say it will take time. Under the glaring headlines, there are quieter, unsettling details that matter. Neighbors told reporters the Tesla had been parked for weeks, maybe months, and had a dented exterior and out-of-state plates. Small oddities that, in hindsight, drew attention only after the smell and discovery. Forensics teams faced a difficult task because the remains had decomposed over an extended period, slowing identification and complicating investigators' ability to immediately determine a cause of death. Family members of the missing teen have now stepped forward in interviews, asking whether their daughter's last days can be reconstructed from phone records, surveillance, and social connections. There are also online whispers, some amplified by fans, about tattoos, alleged social ties, and even rumored lyrics in unreleased tracks that some listeners say reference a girl named Celeste. But here we must be careful. Rumor and fan theory proliferate quickly online, and investigators caution that not every thread leads to courtroom facts. Talk to a former detective and you'll hear 2 clinical truths. First, an impounded car containing human remains instantly turns routine towing into a homicide or death investigation. Second, ownership or registration of the car only starts the inquiry. It is not, in itself, proof of guilt. An entertainment industry lawyer pointed out that artists at this level habitually rent or borrow vehicles, and registration records can lag or be misleading, so investigators will be meticulous about establishing custody, keys, and movement. A crisis PR advisor told us the playbook is equally simple. Cooperate with police, constrain public comment, and prepare for sponsors to pause while the legal picture clarifies. Meanwhile, forensic pathologists will remind us that decomposition makes cause of death determination slower and more complex. Timeframes must be reconstructed from lab tests, and those results can take weeks. In short, the insiders say the investigation will be procedural and slow. Headlines will roar louder than facts, and the court of public opinion will form before the court of law has a chance to speak. For D4VD, the immediate fallout is brutal. Canceled concerts, paused promotions, and a reputation now tethered to a tragic investigation. Even if no charges are filed, the shadow of an event like this can follow an artist for years. Playlists get scrubbed, collaborators step back, and touring opportunities dry up until the story is resolved and public sentiment, mercurial as it is, can shift. For the industry at large, this is a sobering reminder that virality and youth alone do not inoculate against real-world consequences when serious allegations or investigations arise. For the victim's family, the broader consequence is the hard work of grief complicated by news cycles and social media scrutiny. And for fans watching their icons, it's a painful lesson in the limits of parasocial relationships. We stream the music, but we do not own the truth behind the headlines. We're not the first to witness a pop culture figure's orbit suddenly collapse into scandal and investigation. Think back to other high-profile cases where artists or public figures faced criminal probes. Early reporting is always messy, with speculation filling the gaps that investigators leave vacant. History shows us a two-path pattern. Sometimes allegations crystallize into charges and convictions. Other times investigations close with no charges, but reputations remain indelibly altered. The difference often hinges on what the evidence says, what witnesses remember, and how well counsel can manage both the legal and public relations narratives. In the meantime, comparisons to previous cases are useful only as cautionary tales, reminders to withhold judgment until authorities reveal more. So where does that leave us in this moment between discovery and answers? It leaves us with heartbreak for a family who lost a child, with anxiety for fans who trusted a young artist, and with the sober recognition that social media hunger for instant resolution can outpace the slow, deliberate work of justice. It leaves investigators sifting evidence and a music industry bracing for reputational and business decisions. Most of all, it leaves questions that only time and forensics can answer. Why was a missing 15-year-old's body found in that car? Who was with her in her last hours? And how will the law interpret the evidence once tests are complete? As this story develops, we'll keep tracking verified reports and quoting only what authorities confirm. Because in a case like this, clarity is not a rumor, it's the work of investigators and the medical examiner. For now, we hold space for a grieving family and we watch for the facts to emerge.
For full video, click related link below or like and subscribe this channel.